Hello, everyone. Welcome to the GamerAccess.com's PC gaming podcast known as The Raid. I'm your host, Bronson, joined by the amazing Anthony Ta.
Hello.
Anthony, how you doing? How you been?
Oh, I just ate too much food at a buffet, so dinner is not a thing today.
Cool. I did something very similar. Me and a friend of mine, we went out. She's like, "Let's have pizza," and I was like, "Okay," and we ate an entire pizza. And then she was like, "Let's have another," and I was like, "Okay, let's have another." So, yeah. Got leftovers though. I'm super happy about that. I had pepperoni with extra cheese and sauce, bacon and olives. I love the fact that it's becoming more common to have bacon on pizza now.
Bacon mania?
No, yeah, dude, you know what? Yeah. Have you ever had bacon on a pizza, Anthony?
Yes, I have. We did that deep dish thing from
That's right.
Little Caesars?
Yeah, that thing was not very good. It was mostly bread. I was very disappointed.
Well, I was okay with it, but yeah, that had bacon on it, and I remember the comment we had for it was like, "So how much did they pay you for this?" Oh, negative $15. We paid for it because there was nothing happening around that time of year, so we bought a pizza.
Occasionally, we like to make dumb little videos for you guys. Those are in my case, in Anthony's case, we have a history of food challenges on website stuff.
I think probably the best one to happen is 15-minute access of the Pizza Hut app.
that was a stroke of fucking genius. I don't
know.
I don't like when they released that app. I was like, "What's coming out? Nothing. Perfect. This could not have released at a more perfect time." Oh man. But yeah, oh god, that Pizza Hut video. But so if you had it on a good pizza though, because here's the thing about Little Caesars. I love Little Caesars, but I don't go to Little Caesars when I'm like, I want a quality pizza. I go to Little Caesars when I'm like, I'm buying pizza for me and 6 other people, and their pizzas are $5 each.
Well, to be honest, they're not that bad considering the $5.
No, not at all.
It's actually pretty decent.
But I am saying that there's way better pizza for not that much more money. You could pay an extra $3 and get a really good pie at a Domino's. So, and if you want to go,
the major quest for ever cheaper food.
I paid $15 today for a large at Pisano's, which is a local place. Which, in my opinion, that's the second best pizza place in town.
Nifty. Is it local?
Yeah, it's local only. The best pizza place in town is a local joint called Boulevard. It's out in Sparks. I actually have a coupon. We should go there, next payday.
Ooh, goody.
Yeah, I have a coupon.
All the cheese.
The fuck yes. Oh my god. These people who I come from an Italian family, and yeah, you're technically not supposed to put cheese on real pizza, but American pizza isn't real pizza anyway, so fuck it. Let's just put cheese on everything. I put extra cheese and sauce on all my pizzas though, so if I can afford it, I load that thing up with cheese and sauce.
I don't like it when my pizzas taste like tomato sauce.
Okay.
I mean, I understand I understand it's a critical part to the actual pizza, but what I mean is that I taste more tomato sauce than cheese or meat, and that bothers the living heck out of me. That's why I kind of prefer, pizzas from a buffet, because they actually don't go tomato sauce overkill on it.
See, my problem
less tomato sauce is better.
My problem with buffet pizzas is they fuck up tomato sauce. They don't have good sauce.
Yeah, that could be true. It could be the sauce that sucks too. It's just my biggest beef with pizza is the frickin' tomato sauce. Whether there's too much or it doesn't taste good.
That's one of the biggest things with pizza to me. I gotta have a good sauce. That's one thing about Boulevard that I'm just yeah, all right. That's why I like Boulevard so much, is they have such a good sauce. That and they have this. They do really good with toppings. Like they got this. They have this veggie pizza where this thing is just like this thing is like a salad on a pizza. It's fucking great. Um, yeah, yeah, like it has just all this crap on it. I don't know. Anyway, that's pizza. We're here to talk about PC stuff.
We're going to talk about PC stuff. Let's be honest here. When you're playing a PC game, you need something relatively clean so you don't ruin that $170 mechanical keyboard. So pizza is kind of clean except for the oil.
Yeah, and like
and some guy can deliver it to you so you don't have to cook.
Yeah, do you remember what? So I know you didn't like pay attention to Everquest that much when it was around, but you know you could order like Pizza Hut pizza from within Everquest. I'm not even joking. Like Everquest and Everquest 2, you fucking order pizza.
I never knew that feature.
It was a weird thing.
Oh man, I'm so lazy. I'm waiting too long. But I need food. I need to order.
Yeah, I can't fucking alt-tab out to the fucking app on the computer.
I can't frickin' pick up a phone and say, hi, I would like to order, please.
You don't even need that, because, like, all these places have it so you can order online. Like, my last
I know, but back in the day, way back in the day, EverQuest 1 and 2 was probably still quicker to pick up a phone.
Yeah, EverQuest 2 was in time for, like, online orders. I actually did an online order this week. Like, I've been eating a lot of pizza this week. It's been weird. Like, my mom was like, I'm gonna buy everyone pizza at the house, because she got paid. And I was like, alright, cool. And then, like, Ray and I got paid, and he's like, let's go get pizza. And I'm like, alright, cool.
Lately, I've been having food cravings for some reason. I'm just like, I need more food. Which today was great, because I went to buffet and ate so much food that I'm just like, oh man, I don't need dinner.
Yeah, like I said, I had that pizza, and I'm probably, like, gonna have a small snack tonight, but, for the most part, I'm gonna be living pretty lean tonight, because when you eat an entire pizza, basically, and one that is very heavy with toppings, like I said, extra cheese, extra sauce, pepperoni, and bacon and olives, like, that's a thick pizza. That is not, like, that's none of this, like, cheese-only shit. This is like, let's get some fucking toppings on that motherfucker.
But yeah, so that's pizza.
Yeah, you know, I would love it if they continued to add pizza apps to video games. Like, that would be funny.
I think that is just kind of a case of how lazy do you have to be? Like, frickin', you could get a bajillion food apps for your phone.
Yeah, like, I ordered pizza on a fucking tablet app the other day.
There's an app for literally everything out there. Even, like, you see all those pointless games on your phone that cost, like, maybe a nickel? Yeah, well, there's, like, a bajillion stupid free apps, too, because apparently it's not that hard to make an app.
No, it's not. And then, like, you look at those pizza apps, and they're super quick. It's like, alright, do you want what kind of crust? How much sauce and cheese? Toppings? Alright, here's the price. Where's the address? Or do you want, yeah, like, and like I said, that Domino's app, super quick. Like, you do this shit on your phone, you do it on your desktop, you do it on your tablet. Like, man, I don't see why this had to be an in-game thing, but I love the idea that, like, someone is so fucking lazy and so into their game of EQ that they can't leave to order pizza.
Hey, rating's very important. Gotta keep up that full-time rating schedule.
I was a really lazy raider. Like, I was in one of the world's, like, top guilds during vanilla, and even then, I was fucking so lazy. Like, I'd alt-tab out all the time. Like, I'd alt-tab out to, like, watch videos, like, look up strats, like, because I knew my role, and back in the days of, like, 40-man raiding, you weren't talking to the entire raid a lot of the time. You'd be just talking to your class, or the people you needed to talk to, because having 40 people on a chat channel kind of necessitates that. And it just created these weird moments where it's just like, oh, cool, I'm in the warrior or the tank chat channel, and there's only 4 of us, so we're all going to alt-tab out and watch videos because we know our part of the fight and we're not the reason we're dying. So, yeah. especially certain fights back in Vanilla WoW. Like Vanilla WoW had this fight where you could literally like once you had aggro and the right ability set, you could just leave. You would literally just fucking alt tab out and wait for the fight to end because everything else was handled by other classes.
Okay.
Yeah. Vanilla WoW was a really weird game because it was a lot of people's first MMO, and it was Blizzard's first time making MMO, so they were trying to balance everything, and yeah, man, like going back to those vanilla days is a weird thing. Like it is a weird thing. Every time someone says like I want a vanilla server and I want to see what vanilla was like, I'm like, no, you don't. You don't know what you're asking for.
It's more hardcore.
No, it's
instead
not,
of all this
though.
casualized bullshit.
Like, the thing is, though, it's really not. Like, I would hate to inform people of that, but it's really not that much hardcore.
I'm guessing what you mean to say is that Vanilla WoW was not very refined.
Yeah, raid mechanics now are so much more complicated. So much more. Hell, they were way more complicated than all the other expansions. Like, there is literally fights in Vanilla WoW are like, alright, do this, like, you people decurse, you people do this, we're good. Yeah, it started to get more complicated towards the end of the expansion, or the end of the, before the first expansion. But, like, most people couldn't get there because there was no catch-up mechanism. So you know how, like, in WoW now, there's a catch-up mechanism. Where, like, dude, there totally is. Like,
the last catch-up mechanism they gave me was, here's the Isle of Time, here's an island, and then I played it for, like, a day, and I'm like, this doesn't feel like too much of a catch-up. I'm like, okay, I'm stopping.
Dude, but, like, a week on the Isle of Time, I was totally ready to raid in current content.
A week on the Isle of Time, and I still didn't know what I was doing.
But still,
it's like, you're supposed to walk in this direction and climb this mountain. I'm just like, this game is giving me literally no direction whatsoever on how I'm supposed to use this place.
So, the thing is, though, is, like, you could have still got caught up. Like, there was a way. Versus Vanilla WoW, which it's like, the only way to get gear and get caught up was to play through that old content. But no one wants to play that old content, so you're screwed. Like there were straight up guilds at the end of Vanilla WoW that were raiding Molten Core because they needed to re-gear people. This is also what caused a lot of guild poaching back in the day. Like, yeah, like it was fucking Dark Ages, man. Like that's the best way.
You mean the perils of the real world happened in the game? Oh my.
Yeah, like, it was like, because there was no catch-up mechanism, you couldn't be like, oh, yeah, we can get you geared for raiding by running a bunch of these heroic things and running you through the Isle of Time, or, I forget what the new one is. Like, carrying you through stuff. It was, okay, well, we just lost a guild member because they quit or moved to another guild. We need someone who's ready for this content, and we're not going to go run a bunch of old content, so who can we poach? Who is pissed off at someone? That's how it straight up was.
Yeah, real-life drama, full in play, in an online game. Yeah, that stuff is pretty scary.
Yeah, like, it was fucking Dark Ages, man. Like, even Burning Crusade...
I'm sorry, no, like, I still think this... Well, it probably isn't as dark, but I imagine today it's still dark because whenever you're talking about a group of 400 people playing a game for, like, 3 hours a night, real-life stuff tends... Real-life grade dramas tend to seep in very easily. I've seen it happen. But, it's, like, quite shocking seeing it firsthand because you hear all this stuff about... Oh, people get pissed off, and oh, marriages happen, and oh, this happens. But the thing that people never really talk about is, when people get poached, when people promise something but don't deliver, like stuff like that, just freaking the real life drama gets very real, and that is just holy crud, what is going on? Because technically, you think everyone sits down and plays this game for fun, but then all of a sudden, all of these relationships, whether they're just friendship relationships or more intimate relationships, and they just real life happens.
Yeah, but I'm not about just because the mechanics of the game, it caused more drama. Like it was, even Burning Crusade had a catch-up mechanism, but it still wasn't all that great. Realistically, it wasn't until Wrath to where okay, I missed a lot of the expansion, but because we're getting gear this way and there are all these catch-up mechanisms, we can get you up and running once you have a max level character. Yeah, man. Speaking of which, I've hopped back on the WoW train after the announcement of Legion. I want to get all my characters prepped for the new expansion and then not play it again until the new expansion.
Okay.
Or until the pre-expansion event, whenever that happens.
Okay.
So I'm kind of hop back on. I'm just all right, I need to get caught up on all the current raid content, which I am doing surprisingly faster than I thought I would. Because I'm all right, how far behind am I on gear? Oh, only 6 item level. Okay. So I went and I grinded that out. And then I just started the second newest raid tier, and I'm kind of whipping through it pretty quick. I started leveling my alts. I forgot how much fun a mage is. Seriously, mage is one of the most fun classes to screw with people in PvP.
Uh-huh.
It's I'm going to turn you into a sheep and then laugh at you. This is
Until they kill you, then they get the laugh.
It's oh, you're a sheep, and you can't do anything until I hit you. It's oh, you're coming after me, you're frozen in place. I love finding, a warrior who thinks they're a badass, letting them charge at me, blinking away, and just blasting them with different spells. But yeah, I got back on that. That was fun. The garrisons are still cool. I find it weird that we're on the last bit of raid content before the next expansion. I know they said that after Warlord, they're going to start putting out an expansion every year instead of every 2 years. But it's still kind of weird to me that it's going around this fast. I don't know. What do you think?
Going around this fast, what do you mean by that? You mean the expansion is being announced a little sooner than expected?
And it's going to be coming out sooner than expected. And, we're already on the last raid tier of the expansion, too. The current one. It's really strange. It's just this really fast turnaround. So, I don't know. Maybe I'm just imagining shit. Maybe it's...
How long has it been since Warlords of Draenor came out? 2 years?
Warlords of Draenor came out last fucking November.
Oh, wow, that's really fast.
Yep, I mean, they said, hey, we know we've been putting them out every year and a half, every 2 years. We want to put them out every year. I'm alright, well, if they are full expansions like Draenor was, then I'm cool with that. But on the other hand, it just feels I don't know. I think maybe I've just been playing the game for a long time, so I got used to a certain schedule. But, yeah.
I feel tempted to say that because WoW is not really as huge of a deal as it quite used to be, it's okay, guys, we're bringing back Illidan.
I think part of it's also because the game is getting, bigger peaks and valleys. When a new expansion or a new patch comes out, it peaks so hard.
Oh man, Warlords of Draenor, this is the true return to hardcore WoW.
Well, not only that, but when the newest patch came out, it boosted it up again, right? To 7 million from 5 million. And it's damn, so they're getting these big, subscriber jumps every time they release content. And I think what is happening is people are, swarming that content, beating it, and then leaving. and yeah, that makes sense because I mean, I play WoW very casually. Like, I have a guild, but they know that, like, they can't depend on me to be in the raid team. Like, I am a competent raider, but I can't commit to every Thursday at this time, I'm gonna log in and play this fucking game. You know, like, I just can't live that life anymore. Like, I got
Man,
TG.
freaking, like, when you're an adult and they start saying, okay, here's your part-time job. I just look, like, I would see some rate schedules and they would say stuff like, 3 or 4 days a week, 3 or 4 hours a night, and I'm just like, whoa.
I'm like...
It's like, man, like, I understand if you're in high school, you have this time, but even then, as an adult, I look at this and I'm just like, how do you do this? And obviously they're late at night, like, because obviously you have to, like, they're late at night or something like that. They would say stuff like 7 to 11, you know, p.m. Pacific time, and then all of a sudden planning raids become a gigantic mess because you gotta account for people on the East Coast and even further than the East Coast. Like,
or
like
if you're
one
like
time,
me, like I'm on a East Coast server, so for me everything's straight as ahead. Like now, I actually probably could get back into hardcore raiding now because I work graveyard, and that means my job is to stay up. Basically, like I need to stay up, and then if something happens, I need to be able to take care of it. Like if one of the clients is sick, or like, you know, one of the clients like cuts their arm open, like I need to be able to be a functioning adult and know how to handle emergencies. But most nights, it's okay, everyone's in bed by 2 a.m. They're not going to be up until at the soonest, like 6-ish. I need to stay up because if there's an emergency and I'm not up, I'm going to get fired and we're screwed. So, I mean, the thing is, though, at that point, I have to find a raid team that is like, here, we raid from 3 a.m. to 6 a.m.
Go Euro.
Go to a European server.
Go Euro. It makes sense. It's daytime over there when it's midnight here.
Yeah, just go to a European server. Yeah,
actually, to be honest, you'll be surprised. Like some of the Europeans, like let's see, why do Europeans play on American servers? Apparently, the two most common reasons I hear is one, there's a language barrier, and two, assholes, which seems kind of ironic because I'm just like, so you don't like the French because you're Norwegian, and you don't like the French assholes because, one, they're assholes, two, you can't speak French, so you come to an American server to escape the assholery, but I just find it ironic because it's like, so you're coming to the most narcissistic place in the world to escape assholes. I think that's, I mean, our elitist jerk count here is probably higher than in Europe, but you never know.
Actually, I recently looked this up today because someone in my guild asked, what is the most, what are like the world's best guilds right now? And like 8 out of the top 10 are European. So that I found funny.
Yeah, but again, it's like the most common problem I notice is language barriers. Because obviously Europe is, I mean, like, freaking Europe's not a big continent, but you got like so many countries and languages on it that it just makes it very difficult. So right. What do? English. Gotta make sense.
Yeah.
Also, it kind of, yeah, so I don't even know how the Final Fantasy XIV servers work because I don't know if they house it all in one area out in Canada, because I know they have a data center or two out in Canada, but I don't know if they have a data center in Europe. And if you live in Australia, they don't have a data center in Australia, so you have to connect to America, which results in 1 or 2 second lag all the time, which kind of sucks when you raid. So yeah.
But like, but back to the original time, like if you are an adult, like, okay, let's assume you work full time, so you work 40 hours a week. And then in our case, like, we average about, what, 15 to 20 hours on TGA a week?
Yeah.
So sometimes a little more, sometimes a little less, but it's the 15 to 20 ballpark. So there's that. and then you have and then you factor in, okay, somewhat of a social life, like then eating, bathing, like necessities. That doesn't leave much time to, play, and you have these people who just like I don't know how the fuck they do it. Like they have to be like stay-at-home moms, like maybe work a job like mine where it's a little more loose. Like that's the only way I could picture people doing this. Cause man, like you look at it sometimes, you're like, holy crap.
Yeah, it's just let's see. I just kind of feel like this is kind of more like this MMO is their only game.
That too.
Like they play this as their primary and only game.
Like there's
which
that.
Makes
like
sense, which kind of makes sense. Yes.
Like we're in a unique scenario where we kind of need to stay current.
We're in a scenario where I'm just kind of like in a scenario where it's just like I'm interested in different things. It's like, yeah, I play Final Fantasy 14 a lot, but I don't take it too seriously because I don't have the time to. It's just like, okay, I came in from work, time to take a nap, wake up, okay, raid time, sleep, go back to work.
Well, not only that, but like it's you. Like I said, because of TGA, we have to stay like current-ish. Like, okay, Witcher's out, we gotta at least play The Witcher. We gotta at least play Batman. We gotta at least play Bloodborne and see what these things are, so we can commentate on them. And Splatoon, and so on and so forth. And that can be super hard sometimes. If you want to do an MMO with it, because it's like, well, I want to play The Witcher, I want to play, or I want to play, I don't know, Crimson, God, how did I forget the name already?
Crimson Dragon?
No, Crimson Clover. Or I want to play Batman, but I can't because there are, 10 to 20 people who require me to be on at this time, and if I don't, they're going to be super pissed off. So
you will make this time or you're booted.
Yeah, and yes, I realize there are some people who listen to this and they're like, "This sounds insane," and you're right, kind of is. It is a little insane.
Yes, but think about it. You get to achieve something no one else can. You can achieve more than your measly life ever could. Think about it. See, your phone's excited.
My phone is excited.
See, you could achieve more in this game and be that special someone you never could in real life.
But, you look at that and you're like, well, if you're like me and you like other experiences for games, it can be hard. Like, I love World of Warcraft. It's one of my favorite games of all time. I love it. It's a fucking great game. It's one of the best games I've ever played. It's one of the best games of all time. But like, it can be hard to be like, all I'm going to play is World of Warcraft. Like, there's a point in my life where I was in high school, like, especially during my senior year, when I only had 4 classes and only needed to pass 2 of them, and, like, so on and so forth. But, like, that was a, like, 1.5 year period of my life where I only needed to pass 2 classes, and I was officially done with football, so it was like, I can spend 6+ hours a day playing this game that I can't really do anymore.
Yeah. MMOs are a colossal time commitment, but it's really hard sometimes because it's like developers have to figure out, okay, we want to make this game fun for people who don't play this game for a living, but we also need to satisfy those who do play this game for a living because they have the loudest voice out there. Because everyone sucks.
But me, yeah.
But me, yes. Yeah, full-time ratings, yeah, just... But, again, it's like, that high. Like I've seen it happen to people. I've seen people who one time said, "Oh, I don't care about this raid. I'm nervous. I don't want to deal with the elitist jerks." But then the moment they get some really high-end clears, they just plunge down into the deep end and never come back. I've seen it happen to people. I've seen like people who were just like, "Oh, I play this game casual," and then they just started playing it hardcore.
Yeah, I get that. Like, I definitely get that. But anyway, moving from MMOs, I've been playing, as far as other PC games, I've been playing Heroes of the Storm again. So Ray built his PC, and he's been looking for games to play. And Heroes of the Storm is free, and he always wanted to play it, but his laptop really couldn't run it that well. Like, it just, it's a case of it just could not run it for several reasons. So he decided to hop on, and so he decided to finally hop on and start playing that game. And man, when you have a friend who lives 10 feet away from you playing that game, and you're playing with them all the time, it's awesome. It is.
Well, local multiplayer. Local cooperative multiplayer.
Yeah, like, I'll play Sylvannas, and he'll play the new character. New story. Segue. Like a boss. But the new character, Leoric, the Skeleton King from Diablo, and I've been playing as Sylvannas from Warcraft. And man, that is an OP combo. It is, like, you will just dominate a lane like it's nobody's business with that combo. Especially especially late game. Like, early game, it's solid, but man, late game, you just dominate like it's nobody's business. And the reason is because Sylvannas, one of her late game talents you can choose, you can mind control. At first, it's 5 minions, and as the game goes on, it goes up to like 12. So, like, you'll see creep, and you use this ability on them, and now they're your team's creep. So, like, you can just transform one of the creep to your team. And later you can get a talent that makes it so it can so it can be used on their mercenaries, too. So when they take over a merc camp. But anyway. Sorry, but anyway, so what you'll do is, Leoric has this ability that locks them in this, like, tube where they can't move, and Sylvannas will just shoot them down from range, and then, as you take control of the lane, you start taking control of the enemy creeps, and next thing you know, you have, like, 5 rows of creep going to their base, while you and Leoric can just go to town on their towers and walls.
Okay.
Yeah, it's dope. It is super dope.
Nifty.
Yeah, so that's been cool. This is actually the first time in that game I'm not maining a support, because all the characters that I have mained in that game have been support characters. Like, every single one of them. So this is the first time I'm not playing support, and it's the first time I'm playing a character who's not support that I really like. Because a lot of the time, like, I don't like the fact that you can't heal yourself, and your higher level abilities aren't that cool. But that minion one, like, yeah, you can't heal yourself, but who the bleep cares when you have a small army protecting you? So I don't know, it's cool. Thoughts, Anthony?
MOBAs. Yeah.
MOBAs. You shop on for that game.
Tag teaming.
You should hop on with that game for us sometime.
I should so here's the trend that I've kind of noticed that people have been suggesting lately. I should anything and everything.
Yes,
but I wish I had a 36-hour day to do it. But I
don't. Like, man, that would make life.
It's just like, well, you should play this game. You should play all these indies games. You need to play 50 games in a day, because that's how we recommend stuff around here. You should everything.
Hey, man.
It's kind of hard.
Yeah, I get that, but, like, hop on Battle.net if you see Ray and I on. Like, hop on with us.
Dude, I have to finish Batman Majora's Mask as it is.
Yeah, you should totally finish Batman.
Once the year pile kind of diminishes a little bit, then I can think about it.
I'll let you borrow Bloodborne.
Because for all I know, I could pop in the Disc of Destiny and you guys would be like, carry time! And then it happens.
Out of curiosity, how far are you in Batman? Because that is a game that's on PC.
Stag Industries Air Blimp.
Oh, okay. You're like you're almost to the halfway mark.
Yeah,
so,
about.
Yeah, that place is probably one of my least favorite parts of the game. Yeah, I actually really want you to beat that so we can do the spoiler cast on it, because I really want to do the spoiler cast for that game.
Okay.
Yeah, like, because that Joker thing, right?
Well, here's the thing. If the spoiler cast involves me having to know a lot of comics, there might be an issue.
No, not at all.
Because I don't read comics at all.
No, like, it's almost all about the game. Like, there are some Easter eggs for fans of comics. Like, there's an Easter egg for the Killing Joke. There's an Easter egg for Under the Red Hood, which I think you've watched Under the Red Hood. I think I gave you a copy of that movie. I swear to God I did. Whatever. I know I gave you a pile of Batman movies that you should, like, if you wanted to know the majority of the Batman stories that matter.
Gotcha. I should everything. Gotcha. Yes.
But no, I
should watch Sword Art Online on Netflix. And this. I'm just like...
Well, what are you doing? Like, I don't know what you do with your free time.
What do I do in my free time is catch up on my backlog and sleeping. Man, it really sucks when you have to wake up really early.
Yeah, I feel your pain. Like, going to bed at 10 in the morning is shitty sometimes. Yeah, you could do what Ray and I have started doing, just not sleep. That's
but that makes everyone grouchy, though, and grouchy's not good.
That's true.
Here's the thing, it's just like, well, sleep is for the weak. Yes, sleep is also for those who... I mean, freaking, like, I've seen it happen. Like, I say, oh, there are things worse than not having sleep, right? And it's kind of true, yeah, there are things way worse than, missing a bit of sleep, because missing a bit of sleep isn't going to kill you, as proven by school. But when people lose a lot of sleep, they get really grouchy.
I saw this really good picture that I want to send the TGA group chat sometime when I'm tired on Gravesand. It's a picture of an owl who looks exhausted. It's like, I don't sleep, I suffer. And that is working grave shit.
Yeah, well, it's kind of true. When you don't sleep, you suffer. So, that kind of comes to the point. Just people get tired, people get angry, people get agitated. You start having a hard time feeling happy and excited because you're always tired. Like, that's the price you pay for not sleeping.
There's another pretty good one I saw where I was, where it was a picture of, like, a caveman or like a time traveler with a long beard that looked crack out that said, like, I love night shift. What day is it? Like, Anthony, I'm telling you right now, half the time, I don't know what fucking day it is.
Oh, like, I felt that before.
Half the time, yeah, I have no fucking idea what day it is.
No, my body has a hard time figuring out what time it is, because it's like, I know what time it is, because I look at a clock, but my body, apparently my body's bio clock or whatever just gets effed up.
Yeah, so, I mean...
Like, my body doesn't even know what... my body doesn't even know what stage of the day it is anymore. It's like, is it breakfast time? Is it dinner time? Is it mid-afternoon time? What time is it? Yeah, not knowing what day it is either, because it really screws you up, because it's like, I work tomorrow, but,
I think, like,
5 in the morning still counts as the next day, so, what?
Yeah, like, that's one of the hard parts for me working Grave, is I will, like, it's like, okay, technically I'm working today, but today is technically tomorrow. And that's what makes it such a pain in the ass.
Yeah, because we're used to considering our days when we're awake, and we're usually awake when the sun is up in the evening.
Not anymore, I'm not.
Yeah, well, now it's just like, well, for you it's different. Like, for me, I still sleep, then wake up and get ready, but it's still like, wow.
Yeah, like for me it's like sleep into like I get home at 8:39, go to bed at 10 a.m. I'm not up until 6
this
at
is
night.
this is probably why I sit down and I think this is why the Batman never ever smiles, is because he never sleeps. He's always grouchy. Especially in the Arkham Knight, he's always grouchy, which totally makes sense because when you don't sleep, you get very grouchy.
Not only that, but like the shit that is going on in Arkham Knight, I would be pretty.
Yes, but even then, the Batman is just, he doesn't smile. He's just, I'm just like, I could totally see why, because when you're up that much, and then, yeah.
Did I ever loan you The Killing Joke to read? I'm trying to remember. Yeah.
I never did.
You can literally read that in like 20 minutes. I should actually loan that to you. It's a 50-page comic, and it's considered the greatest comic book of all time. And like there's this big reference to it in Arkham Knight. Like I when Ray and I saw that, we were like, oh, because we streamed almost our entire playthrough that game. That's why it took us so long to beat it, because we had to find stream times. Otherwise, like I probably would have beat that game in 3 days had I and got almost all the side missions done, had it not been for the fact that we were streaming it. But yeah, how are you liking that game so far, though?
It is consistently good, but hasn't quite blown my mind away yet. I mean, it came close to blowing my mind multiple times, but it's like, oh yeah, this is consistently good.
That Joker thing, though.
Yeah, that is like, oh man.
It's so funny. Like, have you been doing the side quests?
Nope.
You should do some of those. They're really good. Like, those are legit. Those are a great part of that game. Like, I really enjoyed the Two-Face ones. Like, do you enjoy the stealth Predator stuff?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Do the Two-Face stuff. You're doing stealth Predator stuff in banks that he's robbing. Yeah, like that game, like I wrote the review for it. I gave it a 9.5. Had they put in less Riddler trophies and focused less on the car, it would have been a 10.
But Batmobile.
Yeah, no, it's not that stuff isn't well designed, because it is well designed.
I mean,
it's a lot of
there's
fun.
anything I do like about the Batmobile, they actually did make it a pretty practical device to use.
Yeah, like that.
Like my issue with Arkham Knight at this point is, I'm kind of not exactly 100% blown away yet, and not to mention I feel like there's a bit too much traveling.
See, I love the glide mechanics. I didn't care.
Well, the thing is that I like my biggest favorite thing about those Batman games is the combat, and I feel like I'm not punching enough baddies. It's just a lot of flying around, gliding around, driving around, talking around. It's like I kind of wish this would come. I mean, like if I could find like the Predator Challenge mode, that would be fantastic because that would kind of make up for it.
Do the Two-Face missions. Those are essentially. Those are Predator stuff, and it unlocks Predator challenges.
Because I had a big obsession with Predator challenges with Arkham Asylum, because what I did was I would just run the same level over and over and over until I could figure out the most efficient way to take out everybody in the room in the least amount of time, just like how the Batman would do it. That's my favorite thing to do in those games. Of course, in Arkham City, I kind of gave up and I didn't play Origins, so it's been a while.
You can absolutely skip Origins. It has a great Joker story. Like, if you want a really good story about the Joker, play Origins. Otherwise, you can skip it. Yeah, oh man, it's like I said, like I wrote the review, and like I looked back on, I'm like, what didn't I like about that game? Oh, there was a little too much of the Batmobile, and the Riddler trophies were like I feel the map is too big to like get all those trophies without a guide, and then you factor in some of them are just like really. This isn't even a puzzle. You just put it in the middle of the room. Like you just said, here, Batman, fuck it. Have a freebie.
Maybe that's the point. They want you to start overthinking. It's like, this could be a puzzle, but is it?
Okay. All right.
I mean, if you really wanted to bend the rules a bit, you could technically consider that a puzzle.
But But I really liked the traveling. Like, I love gliding in that game. It's so much fun just to dive down and just swoop back up and just fling yourself.
I think that's awesome. I just think the place is too big still, because it's like, traveled it. I mean, it could be just because I'm rushing through the story, so they took me through the 3 islands pretty fast.
Yeah.
But, man, the amount of travel, I just kind of feels a bit too much.
Yeah, like, I don't know. I was fine with it, especially because if you don't want to glide, you can get across the city quick with the Batmobile. Like, you can get across that whole city in, like, under a minute. You, like, know what you're doing. Yeah, man, that game just blew me away. Like, I know I'm a big Batman fan. I know I've read the comics, but, like, they have most of the big villains. They have a really strong story. Especially if you've been playing the Arkham games, the story is great. It is the best looking console game I've ever seen. You know, people, you talk about The Witcher all you want. I think that game looks better. You know, like.
Well, to be honest, that's not gonna work. That's not gonna like. I'm not really quite gonna see it for a while because it's like, well, there's The Witcher on PC and then there's Batman on PS4. Not exactly a fair comparison.
Yeah. Yeah, because obviously you're running Witcher at max settings on PC.
All like, that here works.
But on the console versions of those two games, like Batman's not even fucking close.
Well, to be honest, though, The Witcher also has to render a ridiculous bigger amount of square area.
Yeah, but
because like the Batman Islands are actually, I mean, compared to The Witcher, like I talk about how Batman has too much traveling, but The Witcher even has more traveling.
And the travel isn't as fun. Like I'm gonna ride.
Well, it depends how you look at it.
I'm gonna ride this donkey across this giant fucking tree, like forest, or I'm gonna fucking glide across Gotham, or use the Batmobile. Like, I don't.
Yeah, the Batmobile where I just deal with slightly iffy handling, and oh, here's another tank, and here's another tank. Oh, look, another tank.
You don't have to fight those. Just
I know.
Past them. Like,
oh, I know. But it's well, I think it really depends what you look at. Like, they're not even the same type of game.
Yeah, I know.
It's like it's just like, oh well, traveling Batman's better because Batman. Well, I'm sorry, I'm not exactly a comic book geek, so there you go.
Yeah, but I am saying, well, I was just talking about visuals. Like, the console version of both those games, like, I think the Batman is a lot more impressive. I love the fact that you can. I love the fact that you can just go to the top of Wayne Tower and see from one end of the city to the other end. Like, that is super cool. I think the game, the rain effects, the fact just so much about that game looks beautiful. And the fact that, like, they made it dark and kind of gritty without making it brown too realistic. Like, it still has some style to it, with, like, all the neon lights and some over-exaggerated shit going on. But yeah, that game is really good. I encourage it. That is my current game of the year. So, from what I am hearing from my roommate, when I finish Bloodborne, my opinion may change. Because I am halfway through Bloodborne, and it's my number 2 so far. Yeah. I will say this. Bloodborne is not number 1 right now, but, like, if you can have a moment of the year where, like, I enjoyed myself the most, it is every time I kill a boss in Bloodborne. Like, there is nothing more satisfying this year in video games than in Bloodborne when you kill a boss. Like, nothing's even close. The ending of Batman was the only thing that came close for me. Anyway, you there?
Oh yeah, I'm here.
So, we should, as far as PC games I'm playing, Heroes, I'm gonna probably drop into Crimson Clover because, I mean, it's $2 on Steam right now.
Ooh, all of the cheap penny deals.
Yeah, $2.50 for, like, a chance of a game that is getting very positive reviews. Like, why not, right?
It's only $2, why not? This is how you end up spending $60 on a bunch of Steam games you will never play, which is a waste of money anyways.
Yeah, but like, this is
$1.
Well, you know what, Anthony? I have made it through the past 3 Steam sales without buying anything. So.
Me too. I haven't bought anything in a while.
I nearly bought Shogun last one. Like, Shogun was really cheap, and I thought about it. But so I think I can buy Crimson Clover and feel okay.
Okie dokie.
So, PC news. First piece of news is Blizzard on the possibility of World of Warcraft 2. Blizzard has revealed it has no plans to create a sequel to World of Warcraft. Speaking to IGN, executive producer J. Allen Brack explained he doesn't believe MMO sequels traditionally work, and admitted the company is already thinking expansions that come after the recently announced Legion. You know, there's not really a good successful model for MMO sequels. Virtually all of them have been significant failures. We're conscious of that. They're not just small failures. We're not actively working on anything on the MMO front that is not World of Warcraft. We're completely dedicated to Draenor and the now Legion expansion. We're even thinking about what comes after. Mud hearings about World of Warcraft getting a sequel have been around for years, especially as the game recently hit 10 years old. The news, along with the recent cancellation of Warcraft, is likely the only thing MMO-related on the company's books. Earlier this week, they have dropped hints that they are making Warcraft 4. So,
Warcraft 4!
You played Warcraft 3. How great was that game?
It was awesome.
That game was so dope. Warcraft
That was back
3,
when the writing probably wasn't as cheesy as it is now.
Oh, it was totally as cheesy.
Okay, probably more cheesy.
Like every time Garithos talked, I would just kind of rolled my eyes. I was like, okay. Sure.
I mean, Blizzard has always had this cheesiness about it. I mean, granted, it's like, every time I think about it, it's like, well, Blizzard's always been cheesier. It makes things more fun. And I'm like, okay, well, if you prefer cheesy fantasy, you got Warcraft. If you want pompous fantasy, you go play Final Fantasy. I'm not joking. Every time I play Final Fantasy 14, the English dictionary overkill that they do in this game is just quite mind-boggling, because it's like, there comes a point when almost everything they say you have to resort to a dictionary, because it's like, how do you talk like this?
Like, cheesy dialogue aside, I think Warcraft tells a very good story.
Oh yeah, freaking the lore is freaking amazing if they didn't present it so.
Like it is very cheesy, but man, that lore is good as hell. Like that
oh yeah, I just wish that they could just, like, you know, dialogue it better, because it's like this could be literally one of the greatest fantasy worlds in existence. But well,
I mean, to be like, one thing I can say is the books aren't cheesy. Like, I've read the books, and the books they're spot on.
Depends who wrote it.
Okay, when Christy Golden writes the
Thank you. When Christy Golden wrote The Shattering, that is awesome. When Richard Nag wrote Dawn of the Aspects, that was that was
bad.
It was quite mediocre. I'll say that much, because it's like, oh, the book about how the 5 dragon aspects came into, or well, they didn't come into existence, but how they became who they are with all these special powers, and how they defeated the big bad daddy dragon or whatever. And that has so much potential behind it, because that's like one of the biggest question marks in the whole freaking lore. But it just felt kind of one-dimensional and shallow. So that just annoyed the living heck out of me. So
my favorite Warcraft novel is Arthas, and that's probably because I really like Arthas as a character. And that novel really fleshed him out on like ultimately Arthas was just like all about the mantle of responsibility and helping his people and being a good leader, and those good intentions are what ultimately led him to be the ultimate evil. Yeah, man. Like I really was into that.
Okay.
That is quality character development. Even if it is presented super cheesily.
Honestly, actually, to be honest, I think Arthas is one of the least cheesy things that they did present.
Yeah,
Because like you think about it, I watch all the Warcraft cinematics, and they're usually cheesy, except Illidan and which funny enough, with the exception of Illidan and Arthas, their cinematics are cheesy. Like Deathwing is stereotypically bad dragon, sets the world on fire.
I will say Deathwing had one line where I was like, okay, that was cheesy as shit, but really awesome.
Well, I didn't think that line was too bad.
Like, all will burn, but we get the shadow of my wing, and you're just like, fuck yeah, that was so hype.
Yeah, but then but again, their cinematics are kind of cheesy in general. It's just, but in the case of the Arthas cinematic, like it's just like I feel like in the case of Wrath of Lich, that was like one of the least cheesy things they ever did.
Wrath is like their peak. Like Wrath was World of Warcraft's peak. They were handling lore.
Like, have you watched a cinematic? It was like his father reading
it was his father saying all this shit when he was a little kid, and how it ended up being super ironic because it was technically all true, but you know, not. Yeah, like that game. That was a really good cinematic. One thing I really appreciated about Mists of Pandaria is that they embraced the cheesiness.
Oh yeah, at the expense of everyone else's super serious nature, which I'm just like, why are you guys so butthurt that we're doing pandas? It's not like this game was. I mean, like the lore is fantastic. It was not like Blizzard's ever been very good at presenting stuff in a super serious manner for the most part.
Like not only that, but like some of the best stuff in Warcraft's history is not serious at all. You know, like I just like you look at some of the best stuff Blizzard ever made, and it's like this was not serious in tone whatsoever. And I feel like you look at you played Warcraft 3. Did you remember the credits for that game?
No, I don't.
Okay, the credits for that game were a rock concert where, like, the characters played guitar and shit like that. And I was just like, yeah, okay, yeah. Cool. That was awesome. And Pandaria, like, embraced Warcraft's cheesy side. And I loved it for that. Like, just like, it's like, yeah, we're going to have this area where you go meet this kung fu master and you like live through a kung fu movie training montage, and we're gonna have like this thing where like there are these like you heard yaks and just all the stereotypical like kung fu movie Asian shit, and people got mad butthurt about it because it
wasn't an Illidan or an Arthas.
Or even a Deathwing.
But here's Legion, we should bring you back, right? Oh, you're complaining about gameplay now? Well, then maybe there was a different problem.
Yeah, like the tone of Draenor and Legion looks super interesting. One thing that I was really I thought was super cool about that Draenor cinematic is how they had the reference to Warcraft 3 in it. How it was very subtle. Like, did you notice it? Alright, did you do
probably not? It's been a while.
Alright, did you do the Orc campaign in Warcraft 3?
Yes.
Okay, do you remember when Grom killed Manaroth?
Yes.
Okay, so they redo that scene in that Draenor cinematic, but instead of Grom getting killed by the explosion, Garrosh knocks him out of the way.
Yeah, I remember that part.
Yeah, you're like, oh, that was a cool little nod. Like, that was subtle, guys. That was neat. Like, you would only get that if you were a big fan. Like, that was super cool. I'm kind of curious what they're going to do for this game's expansion, or this game's cinematic. Like, obviously we won't see it for months at a time.
They've got the best CG department, but they need a better dialogue department.
Yeah, like their cinematography is awesome.
It's like you can't do any better. Like freaking, you remember the final 5 or 10 seconds of that Warlords of Draenor cinematic? I'm just like ho ho ho. Just,
yeah,
like you basically put it endless chills. But the writing
Yeah,
need some help. Like their dialogue team needs some help. The voice acting team's okay. They just need better words to speak.
Yeah, like they have good voice actors. Like they have some solid. They have a good VO team, I think. Like I remember that. Oh man, what was it? The Pandaria cinematic, like the cinematography for that fight scene between the monk and the orc and the human. Like that was a great fight scene. It looked really good. It was presented well. But like the dialogue for that was like you said though, Pandaria was them just being like, fuck it, we're gonna be super cheesy, and if you don't like it, screw off. Which, fine. God, what else? I don't know. What was your opinion of the announcement trailer cinematic, or like the announcement trailers dialogue? Like, I thought it was fine. I didn't think it was exceptional, but I thought.
Well, yeah, it was all right. It was pretty short though, so I'm pretty sure when the big one comes by,
I think Blizzard does need to do more humor stuff though. Like I would, like Blizzard.
Actually, like I feel like I'm playing an expansion right now that spends a lot of its time being very serious. Like in Final Fantasy 14 Heaven's War, one thing I'm missing right now is like, man, I miss that stuff when you kind of had a bit of fun just toying around with people in 2.0, Final Fantasy 14 2.0, because you had stuff like Hildebrand, you had this joke, you had that boat, and you're like a lowly adventurer, so you didn't have the shoulder responsibility of taking down crazy primals quite yet. So I kind of missed that. Whereas in the Heavensward expansion, it's all so serious. Dragon Star War. This war, that war. Gotta take care of this. Oh, it's snowing all the time. Welcome to Skyrim Final Fantasy Edition. Kind of stuff. And I'm just like, man, I kind of missed it when this game was kind of more humorous, because that's one of the reasons why I thought Final Fantasy 14 2.0 was so great.
So I think that, once again, one of the things I really like about, WoW is how they do have those, like, tone, like the tone of, yeah, we're going to have a bunch of serious stuff that totally links back to the main plot, but there's also be this, like, really funny stuff. Like, there's going to be the Day Deathwing Cave, there's going to be the Paladin Pals, there's going to be, here, shift through this moose poop to find this thing. Here, you, like, test your garrison's outhouse to see if it works and get a buff from it. Like, that, like, all that stuff, like, I think that it's really hard to do that sometimes, but it helps the game's flow and be entertaining. Like, you can't always be, we're fighting the Burning Legion, or we're doing this, that, or the other thing. Like, occasionally you need those, like, dumb little missions. And that's why I like doing, like, that's one thing I really like about WoW is each zone has a different tone to it. Like, I remember in Wrath of the Lich King, there was like, okay, those first two zones were super serious, but then you got into Grizzly Hills, and it was like, go be a mountain man for like 3 to 4 levels. Yeah, it was like, go do all this mountain man shit, dig through bear poop, go hunting, go spy on the horde in a mailbox.
Yes, I missed stuff like that. Like zones being different, that was a big deal, because freaking in Final Fantasy 2.0, yeah, you had like 3 major zones, and yeah, they actually really helped, and everyone had their own little problems. Whereas in Heavensward, it's all one giant region, and it's like, welcome to Snowland, Dragonland, constant problems, and it all just kind of felt the same and looked slightly different. Speaking of which, I would, man, whenever I get around to writing that Final Fantasy review, I'm gonna complain crazy hard about the leveling experience in that game.
That has slowly become like the best part of Warcraft to me. Is like, I love making alts now, because one thing I said in my Draenor impressions on the podcast of the last raid when this came out, or like the raid when this came out, and the Gamecast was, I wish there was more shit like zones to level through, the questing experience in Draenor was incredible. Like, there was so much fun stuff for, like, if you wanted to quest. But, like, I 100%ed every zone. And I was like, man, that was cool. I want to do that. I want more of that. I'm hoping Legion is just as good. But you never know.
Hopefully.
Yep. Anyway. Ooh. Ooh, sorry, tired. But yeah, back to the original story that was going on. So, Blizzard says they will consider Warcraft RTS once StarCraft 2 is done. Blizzard has revealed its RTS team may indeed visit the Warcraft franchise once the last chapter in the StarCraft 2 story is complete. StarCraft 2 Legacy of the Void producer Tim Morton admitted that while its potential for StarCraft 3, focusing on all new characters, it's not really an option available to them. This isn't the end of StarCraft, but it's the end of the story for these characters. We don't have any specific plans that will say the universe has so much potential for more, though. It's very rewarding for us to hear that there's demand for more RTS content in Warcraft once we're done with the Void. I think we'll get together as a team and talk about what would inspire us to work on next. There's no question that we'll consider Warcraft even new ideas. Anything is possible, though far from airtight confirmation, it seems Blizzard is pretty keen on the idea of keen on an RTS, even though the company has asserted MMO World of Warcraft has a future.
Okay.
And also, Heroes of the Storm game director teased a new mode could come into the game, the MOBA, featuring similarities to Warcraft 3. So, I don't think that's them confirming Warcraft 4, but that's them going like, well, we're not working on anything else.
We'll think about it. It's an idea. It's a post-it note on the board.
Yeah, it's something we're not working on now, but it's
like, are you working on this? We don't know. Are you working on this? Can't confirm or deny. Are you working on this?
Like, that entire conversation told me, like, we're working on Warcraft 4, just we can't say anything. Which, that's fine. Like, fuck yeah, more Warcraft 4. Like,
That'd be nice.
Yeah.
When was the last time I played an RTS game? I can't remember the last time I played an RTS game.
Oh, man. Anyway.
Yeah, it's been a while since I played an RTS game.
Yeah, so, last couple piece of news. Riot is fixing League of Legends lag, and the pros aren't happy. Riot Games is attempting to come up with a solution for lag in League in North America, and pro players aren't happy. They said the American game servers would be migrated from the West Coast to a more centralized location. According to Kotaku, the solution is the problem with the solution is the majority of professional League gamers live near the West Coast in order to be close to the game's servers. Closer proximity to the servers offers players the best ping or least amount of lag. Moving servers alters the connection for less West Coast players training in-game. To be noted, Riot's League of Legends Championship is played over a local area network. Quite a few players, pro players, have verbally opposed these changes.
Oh yeah, when you're super mega pro to the top degree, even the slightest millisecond will destroy you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could see how this is kind of annoying. It's like, oh man, I am like it's like, oh, you need a good connection if you're gonna do well, and oh boy, that is now taken away from you. So what do? Now you have to move over there, right?
I mean, yeah.
I don't know why. Like, they could have. Like, my idea right now is, well, they could have servers in different locations of the country, and you choose on your client what server you want. I don't know if that's a feasible solution, but considering Riot Games had enough money to rent out the Staples Center for the World Tournaments, I'm sure they could put multiple servers throughout the country.
Yeah.
I mean, like Steam has like Steam kind of does it. I'm just like, oh, it defaults to the server in Los Angeles, but I could choose the server in Sacramento, which is only like freaking 120 miles away from here. So perfect, I'll use that. So, reducing lag, but yeah, pro players. I don't know. Like, I don't really 100% understand the pro way of thinking. So. But every single little bit helps if you're a professional, so yeah.
Anyway. Last piece of news. Tales from the Borderlands Episode 4 is coming out August 18th on PC.
Okay.
I've played the first 3 episodes. They're really funny. I don't really have much more to say about it.
Yeah.
Anyway, I think that's pretty much everything for the raid this week, unless we have any comments or questions, which I'm pulling up now.
Oh, hey, small news. Tomb Raider. The Rise of Tomb Raider, that Microsoft published thing. It's actually, I was right. It's coming to PC next year.
That's great.
And PS4 also. Yeah, it's like the thing is like, oh, we are going to push through the Microsoft, and I remember this sounds just like Mass Effect 1, where Mass Effect 1 was an Xbox 360 exclusive for a little bit, but then Mass Effect 2 became multi-plat, and then Mass Effect 3 was for sure multi-plat, and then Mass Effect 1 eventually came to the PS3 through via the form of some collection or something.
Oh, wow. So, Tomb Raider is a very pretty game. I'm looking forward to it. I really don't have much to say about this, and the raid page, for whatever reason, is not loading. So I'm going to try and load it up on my phone.
Let me try it. We are experiencing minor difficulties. Please wait.
Please hold.
Oh yeah, how's Windows 10 working out on Ray's computer?
Great. Working out perfectly. I haven't had any issues at all.
Cool. Yeah, mine's working out just fine. So far. So far. Okay. So, our comments from Danielle. I do recommend upgrading to Windows 10. I've been using it since the beta version, and I'm really happy with it. The design looks nice, and it doesn't use as many resources as I thought. Yeah, so far Windows 10 is working out for me. It doesn't use as many resources, which is great, because one of the things I noticed is that I took like a Windows 7 system that was pretty darn clean, put Windows 10 on it, and apparently cleaned out 10 gigabytes of crud. Which nice. I'm guessing, which is like Windows 10 cleaned out that some of that unused Windows 7 operating system bloat that it doesn't need anymore. So that means more space for a hard drive, which means it doesn't have to load up as much. Yeah. As far as operating system load times, I think it boots up in about the same time as Windows 7, which I think is pretty remarkable considering everything keeps getting bigger with computers.
Yeah.
So the fact that you can keep the same boot time on an older computer is pretty darn impressive. As for resources, I'm not sure. I think it's the same amount of RAM usage as 8.1 or something. So, Windows 10, nothing mind-boggling. Apparently the mind-boggling features is supposed to be Microsoft Edge, which I don't know if anyone uses that, and DirectX 12, which games don't really use that yet. We might see something this holiday season as far as DirectX 12 goes.
Alright, well, everyone, basically it. Please follow us on Twitter at TheGamerAccess, Facebook, TheGamerAccess.com, and Twitch.tv/GamerAccess, in which you will have access to our donation page, which any donations are very much appreciated. It goes to new equipment, travel for things like E3, CES, etc. And if you leave who you are in your comment on your donation, we will definitely be sure to give you props.
Coolios.
Coolios, peeps. Thank you, and have a good night.